Come along with us as we explore the fun, the traditional, and the historical unique sites of Sanger, California. It's back to school we go at the Schoolhouse Restaurant and Tavern, where an academic past meets up with a delicious present day. Then it's wine tasting at its finest as we sample Cedar Winery's rare Alicante Boucher. Please join us for some fun in the sun as we tee off at the scenic Sherwood Forest Golf Club. You won't want to miss this episode. Every town, every city has its hot spots and hidden gems. Join us as we travel the back roads and the main highways, sharing the untold stories behind the food, drink, culture, and notable people that make up these unique treasures. Come on, let's dine out along the road. Located 20 miles east of Fresno, the Schoolhouse Restaurant, an authentic 1921 country schoolhouse, provides an historic spin to the dining experience. And while the inviting atmosphere may attract the restaurant's diverse clientele, it is the artistic and flavorful dishes inspired by executive chef Ryan Jackson that keeps them coming back for more. Described as homemade new American cuisine, the Schoolhouse provides a modern approach to classic favorites with an emphasis on seasonally fresh and local ingredients. There are fans that are right here, and then there are Uber fans. I'm an Uber fan of this restaurant. I mean, look at the vibe, the aesthetics, rustic with contemporary tones. Tell us the story about this. This is awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually a redwood tree that was donated to us by the Ag Department at Reedley College, and our tradesmen turned it into what you now see as our bar. And then the scraps were actually used to make various cocktail tables that we also use throughout the tavern.
You know, the Restaurant Association constantly lauds and heralds this restaurant as the best kept secret. It's not a secret to me, but what do you want people to know when they come here? What do you want them to experience when they come and dine here at this amazing restaurant?
We are definitely destination, but what people don't realize is we're not that far off the beaten path. We're, you know, on the fruit trail, the blossom trail. So depending on the season, there's always something to enjoy on your journey out here. And then once you're here, it can be an experience. I mean, we have guests who come in and they'll spend 4 hours because they'll start here in the tavern for pre-dinner cocktails, let's say. Then they'll sit for dinner in our main dining room. They'll have a beautiful, you know, 4 or 5 course meal, and then they'll end on our fire lounge patio with, you know, a scotch and a cigar. So it really is an experience in this historic building. Any place can have feature craft cocktails, but we squeeze all of our own juices to make all of our cocktails. We use fresh ingredients. We actually pick rosemary from our property. We have basil plants growing in our vertical living wall. So we have what is most popular for Sunday brunch. It's called the Dennis Fizz. And it's actually a tribute to my father, who passed away actually a week before we opened the restaurant, January 2012. I was working with our bar manager, and I brought it up in conversation and said, you know, I want you to make this. I want to see if I can recreate this cocktail that my dad used to do. And he did. In that moment, I tasted it, took me right back to my childhood.
Starting with the gin and the mix. And I won't divulge all the ingredients to that. And we muddle, strain, topped off with a little bit of club soda, a little orange. We have the Dennis Fizz.
What do you think of that?
That is awesome.
Yeah?
Citrusy and clean and light. Refreshing. That is really delicious. Yeah.
Doesn't it taste like an orange Julius or like a creamsicle, right?
It does. It throws you back when you were like 10, 11 years old.
This is the teacher's pet. Starting with our house-made vanilla sugar, vodka, fresh strawberry puree, homemade, sweet and sour, fresh basil, muddled, strained, and that's teacher's pet.
The strawberries are ridiculous. You can tell they're fresh. There's a difference from a syrup to a fresh strawberry. And
It's
that
rustic.
basil,
You have that like rustic strawberry flavor.
no question. That little basil accent, that is awesome.
Yeah,
That is
isn't that
so
great?
good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Let's drink.
Yeah, let's do it. How's your pizza?
It's good.
Yeah.
Grab some plates. Well, sure.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll have a little piece with you. Yeah.
Grab one more here.
There you go. What's your name?
My name is Scott.
Scott, nice to meet you. I'm Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, that pizza looks amazing.
This is lamb pizza.
Lamb pizza, oh my gosh. Gooey deliciousness.
I notice when I travel, a lot of times people really share and get together, and we don't do that as much here in America.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
agree.
kinda nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah, nice to meet you. Salute to you. Oh, that's nice. Hey, Isaac.
Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Here's our house-made
Oh my
delicious pot
gosh,
pie for you.
that looks awesome. Chef Ryan, come on, what is this amazing dish you prepared for me?
Well, this is our signature pot pie that we have on our lunch menu. This came about by a challenge given to me by my wife who
Yeah.
said, we need something for lunch,
Yeah.
something that's comfortable, something everybody recognizes.
I mean, you talk about comfort food,
Yeah.
raised to a different level. That is just amazing comfort food.
Yeah.
You and Michelle both have an amazing background. You trained with one of the great culinary masters in Napa at the Domaine Chandon. How much of that influenced your technique and style of cuisine?
It was everything. So I was very fortunate to make the decision that I made to go up to Napa, learn from some of the greatest chefs in the world, to be able to come back and show Central Valley what we can do with our products here. It's amazing. Of course, I love to show what we're able to create. I also love to educate and get them excited about some food and show them some new things.
We make pot pie, but your pot pie is on a whole different stratosphere. It's in a whole different planet.
Okay, so I'm gonna put together our signature dish, our braised short rib meatloaf here. We start with a little ground beef, some braised short ribs. Here, we braise these in our Cabernet reduction chicken stock, made with local chickens from Mary's Chickens out in Sanger. House-made pork sausage. Had a few vegetable ingredients in here. We've got some parsley, some red onions, some secret spices that I can't tell you. Got some breadcrumbs, some of our house-made garlic sauce that we use a lot here. Garlic salt, excuse me. And also our house-made ketchup. We got a farm fresh egg from a farm out in Sanger. We take this here and we mix this all up, and we're gonna form this by hand. Now we're ready for the oven. Okay, our next step is this in our saute pan. So to finish off our meatloaf, we have a little braised Swiss chard with some red onions. We're gonna braise this in some red wine. All right, here's our signature braised short rib meatloaf with garden Swiss chard and potato puree and local mushroom gravy.
Just down the street from the Schoolhouse restaurant is perhaps Sanger's biggest hidden treasure, Cedar View Winery. Local owners Jim and Debbie Van Haan's passion of wine led them to start up this boutique winery back in 1999. Almost 2 decades and 100 awards later, Cedar View has been a standout among other wineries, thanks in part to an earnest production of rare and eclectic varietals. Their most famous, Cedar View's flagship wine, Alicante Boucher, a wine that visitors are welcome to enjoy in the winery's spacious patio, the perfect spot to sip a delicious wine, take in the tranquil beauty of the Sierra Nevada mountains, and kick back after a long day of rafting on the Kings River or hiking the Blossom Trail. Debbie and Jim, I don't know if there is a better, best-kept secret in California than this winery. It's amazing. I feel like I just got transported to Calistoga. What do you want people to know about this winery?
Well, I suppose number one, that we're pretty proud of what we're doing here. We make some really good wines. We've been in business now. This is actually our 15th anniversary this year, and we've won over 100 medals in regional, national, and international competition. And we have 9 varietals that we grow here on site. We have a little events venue, and of course we have the bed and breakfast. And the bed and breakfast attracts people from 20 to 30 different countries annually that are going up to Sequoia Kings National Parks or traveling to Yosemite or elsewhere in California. So we're at a good location here for the bed and breakfast, and we're making some really nice wines, and the two coming together are totally symbiotic.
Yeah, I'm in this beautiful room and I'm surrounded by ribbons and medals. And is there a wine that you're most proud of that really kind of creates distinction amongst the other wines you're making?
Well, I think it is the Rhone varietals, and if you're familiar with France, the Rhone River Valley of France goes through Provence into the Mediterranean Sea. So it's a Mediterranean climate, just like this greater Fresno area. And so although the grapes we're most noted for would be Viognier, Marsanne, Roussanne, Syrah, Grenache, and our Alicante Bouschet, which are all French Rhone varietals, and some of them you may never have heard of before.
What a tranquil pastoral setting this is, and part of all of this beauty here is that bread and breakfast, which, Debbie, that's kind of you're a little bit of the architect and the chef that kind of brings that all together. And how's important to have those two elements coming together and create this great experience for people?
Well, when we found this property, our proximity to Kings Canyon Highway 180, which is just a quarter-mile up the road, was pretty much convincing to us that we would be successful running a small bed and breakfast. People often find us because of the Schoolhouse restaurant down the corner, maybe saw our signs on Highway 180, so you drive in, and often people will say, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were here. They might be from Reedley, they might be from Sanger or Fresno. We're usually the ones in the tasting room, so you're here with the owners and the winemaker.
Love it. I used to play sports in college, and now my favorite sport is eating and drinking. and you're the reason why we've all become foodies, I think. So what would I get to eat here when I come and stay at that beautiful bed and breakfast upstairs just above this winery?
We usually start with fresh squeezed orange juice, and of course coffee and tea. We bake all of our own breads and muffins. In the summertime, the menu is a little bit different than wintertime, but fresh fruit frittatas. This area is known as the fruit capital of the world, so a lot of people think of frittatas being savory vegetables. We make them with nectarines and fresh fruit. And then in the wintertime, might be more of the savory end of things. A lot of homemade pancakes with fresh blueberries that we get from Reedley. Just, there's an abundance of fruit here. So.
And we make our own jams and jellies as well. So one of our signature dishes is make a crepe, put goat cheese in it, and then roll it, and then put our homemade fig jam on top. So, you know, it's that sort of just something you wouldn't have on a Tuesday morning for breakfast. So we've kind of noticed that, especially on a Saturday afternoon around 4:30, people will come in here and they've got some dressed up fairly nicely, and they'll taste our wines, and they'll take a bottle or two to the Schoolhouse restaurant for their dinner at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And the neat thing about that is the Schoolhouse waives the corkage on every Cedar View wine.
And I mean, I've been letting you talk because I've been sipping on this delicious wine. What are we drinking? I mean, that is absolutely
That's the Alicante
amazing.
Bouschet. It's kind of our flagship wine. We have 5 acres of it planted in 1977 on its own rootstock. So it's a very rare grape. Most of your viewers will go, Alicante Bouschet, what in the world is that? But it's a French Rhone derivative. It has dark skin and dark juice, so that's what it's most noted for. So it makes a nice, beautiful, dark wine that will accompany a tri-tip or something like that.
Yeah, tri-tip, a big steak, New York steak. You know what's interesting? They may not know the wine, but they'll know the note in there. It's got a real fig note in there. It's almost like a little fig in there, and it's smooth going down, and a little spicy finish, which is my favorite kind of wine.
Thank you.
Outstanding. Yeah, here's to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
And so you want to integrate the skins and seeds back into the fermenting juice, because that's where your color comes from and some of your tannic acid. You're a natural winemaker.
Becoming a winemaker, Joe.
What we're going to do next here, this is a hydrometer, so it measures specific gravity. So you can read here, it's at about, what, 11 and a half, 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
We want to get it to 0. And then when it gets to 0, then we'll press into barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from that barrel, you'll age it for how long?
2 years.
2 years.
2 to 2.5 years, a long time.
Welcome, everybody. The first wine we're going to start with today is our Viognier Reserve.
Nice.
On top of the list here, it's our 2014. All estate grown and aged in European oak. And we got a gold medal on this at the Pacific Rim International Competition last April. And we also got best of class, which means we were the best Viognier in the entire competition.
Wonderful. That's awesome.
Might pick up a little honeysuckle on the nose on this, some pear, peaches. Your palate might taste a little bit something different than ours does, but that's
Nice. Yeah, nice. Cheers.
what we enjoy. Next one is our 2013 Syrah. This also, along with the Viognier, was entered in the Pacific Rim International Wine Competition. We also got a gold medal. This is our first estate Syrah. Should pick up maybe a little bit of plums on the palate with this one, a nice little spice on the finish.
Very smooth and
Yes, no heavy tannins
No,
on the finish,
no.
yes.
very nice.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Well, let's do one more. Let's do
Sure.
our Alicante
Yeah.
Boucher.
Yeah, here,
so
twist
this
arm,
is
twist
our
arm.
our estate wine grape. I think Jim told you earlier, it's rare. There's only like 900 acres left planted in California.
Wow.
We've made it in a rosé style, the full-bodied red that the 11 got a gold medal on, and then we've also made it in a port style, which got a gold medal at Pacific Rim International 2 years ago. So it's a rare wine grape that kind of fell out of favor, and we've been very successful with it because it's very versatile. It's got dark juice.
These are all amazing wines. This is my favorite.
Is it your
This
favorite?
is absolutely
Yeah.
my favorite. I love this wine. It's time to improve the old golf swing, and what better place to do it than the 105 gorgeous acres that make up the Sherwood Forest Golf Club. Billed as a public golf course with a country club atmosphere, Sherwood Forest was hand-built by former PGA pro Carol Hansen in 1968. With a definite nod toward nature, the 18-hole golf course is one of the most picturesque in Central California, with tree-lined fairways and a course that runs along the flowing Kings River. Open year-round, Sherwood Forest features a newly renovated golf house, complete with cold beverages and sandwiches, a fully stocked pro shop, and yes, an in-house golf professional who can help improve the old golf swing. What a great golf course.
Yes, welcome to Sherwood.
Thank you. I want to play a round of golf.
18 holes or 9?
Let's do 18. You know, Deb, as amazing as it is to just go out and golf on that beautiful golf course, maybe the best part of it is finishing and coming back here just having lunch. This is beautiful. What a gorgeous golf course.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the history of this golf course.
My husband and his dad built this 1968, so we've been here 48 years. Enjoy every minute, every golfer that's been here. It's actually probably one of the nicest businesses to be in. And just watching people walk by and they're talking to each other and giggling and laughing, or talking about their score or how they made a birdie. I mean, it's so energetic and so uplifting all the time. My every day is like I'm in the best place I could be.
I know it's a beautiful fall day, but during the summer, you think about it, it's always a little bit cooler here for a reason, because we're kind of in a river bottom, correct?
Yes, this is the river bottom. We're against the mountains on the way up to Kings Canyon National Park. And then we have the river. We're about 5 to 7 degrees cooler than Fresno.
Yeah.
And we're about, now with our expressway, we're only a 20-minute commute.
Yeah, it's worth the drive. Sam. Awesome. Wow, look at that. Wow, man.
Thank you, Sam.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. When you talk about great hot dogs, first of all, they have to be big in size, like this one. Tons of mustard, lots of jalapeno, my favorite, onions. That snappy little bite of the meat, that spiciness of the mustard. That is a delicious hot dog. That is so good. There's a reason
why everybody that walks out that door has got one of these in their hands.
That's very true. It's also very easy to grab and go and eat on a golf course.
Yeah, right? Thank you so much for sharing your golf course, your amazing food, and just your amazing life. Really appreciate you.
Next stop, La Mexicana. Located along Highway 180, this no-frills taco truck delivers tradition on a plate and has quickly become a fan favorite of locals and tourists alike.
I'm gonna do asada.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
And one taco carnitas.
Yeah.
With everything?
With everything.
An exquisite meal at a century-old schoolhouse, sipping award-winning wine with a majestic mountain backdrop, and golfing along the serene banks of the Kings River. I hope you all had as much fun as I have. Come on, let's dine out along the road. On the next episode, we explore one of the best wine regions in the world.
Yes.
Sample delicious cheese.
That is so good.
And indulge in some delightful cuisine.
And what really throws us over the top is these Santarell mushrooms.
Lodi, California.